Hey guys, Major here. Now do me a favour, think back to when you first started playing video games. Yeah, all them years ago, you started playing somewhere. Now I thought about this myself the other day, and I actually thought it was quite interesting to think about where I came from as a gamer, my gaming heritage of sorts. So I'm going to be talking through where I came from and where I progressed to and where I am now as a gamer. So where did I start? Well, I think I must have been about 4, 5, maybe even 6 years old where I first actually started playing video games on the PC. I find it quite strange to think that because I've been a console guy for so many years and then I came back to PC to think that my actual first ever platform was the PC in the first place. And my first proper game was actually Disney's Brother Bear, which, although it might sound weird, I found it quite fascinating to think that I could use some arrow keys to manipulate and control something in a world and then make other things do things and interact with objects. I think that's kind of why I was so fascinated with video games back when I was so young. And actually I think all of the Disney games were where I started. I started with Disney's Brother Bear, as I said, and then I remember distinctly playing Disney's A Bug's Life and other games like that. Lego Bionicle I think I played quite a lot as well. So them sort of childish games I started with. Mainly action, exploration and somewhat open world I'd say as well. Not really the first person shooters of what I play today. That old PC, I remember it costing something like £700 for my parents in the back when computer components were expensive for the performance that they actually gave. I think it was a Pentium or something. It wasn't even that, I don't think. It was some really rubbish, like, it might not have even been a dual core processor, that's how bad it was. But it cost £700 and I remember it being stored in the study that felt like a cupboard, but it was cosy. It had a slanted wall/ceiling that kind of made like a triangle shape of the room. It was pretty cool. I remember sitting in there for many hours just sitting playing video games. And this must have gone on until I was about 7. And then I went into the world of the handhelds where I got a Game Boy Advance. And I think my favourite game on that was probably The Incredibles, I think. I definitely remember playing The Incredibles at least. And I had these weird accessories for it because there was one that had like a magnifying glass that clipped onto the top of the screen and then it made the screen bigger. But it also made you feel really sick because it had some strange sort of thing with motion that it made it look all weird and horrible. I think I remember playing The Incredibles and The Incredibles Rise of the Underminer when that came out as well. So Game Boy Advance I had a lot of good times with. And then because I think I played with the Game Boy Advance for so much, the DSi and the DSi XL appealed very much to me. And this is where I started to get into the Mario and games like that, the sort of Nintendo range, if you like to call it. I think I still have my DSi and my DSi XL today. My DSi was the white one, and the DSi XL was the hideous green one. I don't even know why I chose that colour. But hey ho, I haven't actually bought any of the new DSs, the 3DSs, because they just seem a bit weird and gimmicky, and I've kind of gone off the Nintendo stuff now. But anyway, I'm getting off track. So what happened after the Nintendo DSi's? Well, in 2008 I got my first ever console. I got a Nintendo Wii for my birthday and I was so excited once I got this. It was honestly the first time that I'd ever gotten a product that was specifically for gaming. I used to be fascinated with being able to press a button and things happening in game. Now I could actually use my physical self, like move things with my hands and make things happen in game. The Wii Remote fascinated me so much. And I remember playing Wii Sports, just the normal Wii Sports, not Wii Sports Resort, Wii Sports for hours on end. I don't think I actually bought a proper Wii game for about 3 months after I actually bought the Wii. But after I did buy an actual game, I think I very much got into the Sonic games and Super Mario. Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2 will probably be some of my favourite games even today. I was never one of them Zelda kids though. I never really understood Zelda. Although if they did make a sort of Zelda game that had modern graphics and I supposedly bought a Wii U, I don't think I ever will though. If they were to bring out a Zelda like that, I would probably play it and give it a go. So after the Wii, we then advance on to Christmas of 2011 when my brother got a PS3. And I'll admit, I was kind of jealous. Because I had a Wii, he had a PS3, the PS3 seemed like something much more superior, it's what everybody talked about at school. So I was kind of jealous, and I kind of treated it as my own, I think, a little bit. But the games I played on that, I remember playing so much Gran Turismo, especially with my brother. I remember I used to get in the Zonda R or the Zonda F, it was one of them two, and he used to get in the little piddly go-kart, it'd be the purple one, and we'd go on that Tokyo map where there was that 1.5 mile long straight on the highway, and he'd just sort of sit there in his go-kart, and I would sort of go at him at like full speed and crash into him, and that just made me laugh so much. And then we're getting into the really important sort of section of my gaming history. June of 2012 was where I jumped from playing the small kiddie indie games, if you like, and started to move on to the more mature adult sort of games, so the shooters and the violent games. And that's because somebody introduced me to Battlefield 3, and although I might not be on the best of terms with them at the minute, I must absolutely congratulate them for introducing me to the Battlefield series with Battlefield 3. Now, I bought this in June of 2012, and by the end of June 2013, I had clocked in over 600 hours in this title. So you can kind of tell where my love for Battlefield came from if I'd put that amount of time into the franchise. If you want to know more about why I love Battlefield so much, make sure you check out my last video right here. But my time playing Battlefield 3 on the PlayStation 3 was kind of short-lived. Even though I clocked in 600 hours in it, at Christmas of 2012 I got myself an Xbox 360 Slim. And my first games for that were Halo 4 and all of the Assassin's Creeds. And that's where my love for first-person shooters excelled massively with Halo and the likes of that, and I think I also got Battlefield 3 Premium Edition for that console as well. But also my love for Assassin's Creed. I think I picked up all of the Assassin's Creed titles on that platform, that actually came out on that platform. I think I did a full 2-week period where I just played Assassin's Creed, from Assassin's Creed 1 all the way through to the end of Assassin's Creed 3. And I was so tired by the end of that 2-week period. Like I'd had to cram in so much homework and so much of this Assassin's Creed that I was absolutely knackered. But I loved every single second of it. And then we get to 2013, and this was the year that Skyrim took over my life. Even though that Skyrim was 1.5 years old at this point, it captivated me so much to think that I just had this massive open world that I could actually have an impact on and just explore and just do so many things in this world in a video game. I guess it was kind of the same fascination that I had when I first started playing games as a young kid, where I could actually press a button and something would happen. This time in Skyrim, I could do something and something else would happen, and then a quest would advance or something like that would change in the world. And that's I think that's why I love it so much. And Skyrim was actually also what brought me back to the PC platform. Because I loved playing Skyrim so much on the console, I'd heard rumours of how much better it was on the PC with the likes of mods. So when I went on holiday in spring of 2013, I was in Scotland on the Isle of Skye, and I was unwell, and my family had gone out on a walk across some moors somewhere, and I was stuck at home with some pretty naff internet, to be fair, with a laptop. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to look into getting a decent PC and trying to play some games on the PC platform rather than the console platform. So I had a look around, and after some research I decided that it would be a lot cheaper and actually pretty fun to build my own PC from scratch. So within the space of 4 hours I'd learned just through YouTube how to build a PC, what parts to get, and I'd learned all of the advantages and disadvantages to playing on the PC. And I still use many of them advantages and disadvantages in my arguments today. I still played the Xbox 360 all the way through 2013, clocking in at something around 150 Xbox titles at the end of 2013. And in October of 2013 I built my first PC. Now, it wasn't entirely powerful. It had, I believe it was an AMD A10 5800K processor, which was an APU, which was actually a processor with the graphics chip integrated into it. So it couldn't run games at that high settings, but it could run Borderlands and indie games and stuff like that. So advancing on to Christmas of 2013, I finally bought my properly powerful GTX 760 graphics card, and this is where the PC platform became my primary gaming platform. I was now able to play full 3D titles like Battlefield 4 and Call of Duty, and this is where I just moved all of my time and attention from the consoles to the PC, and it's where I became a member of the PC Master Race, essentially. And throughout 2014, I think I've grown as a gamer to sort of have more respect for the wide variety of games. I've started to play a lot more first-person shooters. I've started to play a lot more indie games. I probably own the most amount of titles in the indie game category on PC than I did on any other platform. Action and adventure and pretty much every single genre I now play on the PC. So I'd like to think that I'm a pretty well-rounded sort of gamer with a more first-person centric focus. And then finally, in Christmas of 2014, I made the biggest purchase that I've probably made in quite a few years, and that was my GTX 980, which at the time was the most powerful consumer graphics card, at least, on the market. Unfortunately, that title at the time of recording has now been taken over by the new Titan X, which has something like a 15 to 20% performance boost over my 980. It also has an extra 100% price increase, so that's not really a trade-off that I would have been willing to make even if I had waited to buy my 980. And here we are now. I'm sat here, I'm playing Battlefield 4. Pretty much all of the games that I've mentioned in this video, I still play today. Skyrim is still one of the games that I absolutely adore. Battlefield, I even still go back and play in Brother Bear sometimes, even though I might be embarrassed to say it. I do still love to go back and play the old games that I remember so fondly of from when I was a child. And my god, have I talked a lot this episode. I should probably shut up about now, but of course this is a Meteor Monday. I've not done one of these in a while. I thought I'd just introduce it here again as this sort of with this topic. And of course with Meteor Monday it comes a couple of shout-outs. So the first one we have is Geordie B, and he's a good friend of mine who I actually know in person, and if you love raps, go and check him out, because he's done some pretty snazzy rap videos on his channel. There'll be a link in the description, and he will be featured on my channel for the next couple of weeks. And the second shout out is for those of you who like to watch FIFA videos, and this guy is the Keezer Crew, and he was nice enough to hit me up on Facebook and offer me a Origin discount code, so I said that in return I would give him a nice shout out. So if you enjoy FIFA videos, make sure to check him out down in the description below. He will also be featured on my channel for the next couple of weeks. But that's it. My god, this has been a long video, and if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more Battlefield content, and I'll see you in the next one.